Good morning, everyone. And it's time once again to speak a little bit about the challenges of being an entrepreneur. And yes, everyone talks about you have to build funnels, you have to get in touch with your investors, you have to have all sorts of different business models, and so on and so forth. But what we are actually looking at is how to successfully manage not just being an entrepreneur, but enough time with your family, with your loved ones, with the people who really care about you and who you care about, and those side projects which take your time as well, your hobbies and so on. And so all this takes a lot of time, and you just have 24 hours a day. But but you have no choice. It is what it is. We all have to achieve it, and we all have to figure ways to do these things. And I believe one of the most important things is to identify a business that will build wealth at the same time, not take that much time. So it's on Oslo Innovation Week these days. I've been speaking to a lot of entrepreneurs who are traveling all over the world, getting in touch with their partners, their customers, their developers, their investors, and so on and so forth. And it seems to be a rather daunting task. And of course, they're at the prime of their life where their children are growing up, where their families need their attention, and so on and so forth. But instead of doing that, mostly they're involved in building their businesses, and not necessarily 99% of these businesses are going to be successful. So it's a lot of time wasted. So it's good to be passionate about technology or sustainability or marketing or real estate, whatever that interests you. But it's also super important to be focused on what is it that requires the least amount of work that delivers the most amount of bang for your buck, so as to speak. And this is what we are now digging deeper into, where we will have to work less as possible. It may not be a continuous trend, it could be a trend for the season, just as sustainability, social impact, diversity, inclusion is pretty big right now on the agenda. So we're focusing there. And it could be something that's not necessarily evergreen, but it could also something that could be evergreen. But the most important thing is to identify how all this aligns together. Once you identify that business, just like, let's say, Martha Stewart, who started her business at 50, and she focused on the things that she loved to do the most and made a business out of it, which is maintaining a lovely home, making really nice meals, entertaining people, gardening, keeping your house looking good, which are all part of her day-to-day chores, which she turned into content, right? So it's the same thing that we're looking at: work with things that you love to do on a daily basis, and identify where exactly the money comes from. If you're meant to travel to 5 different locations in the city and then to 2 different locations outside of your city during the week, and all this traveling and everything takes a lot of time, and you need to do all this in order to generate the revenue to build the wealth that you want to, despite the fact that you would love to go and film and shoot and do these type of activities, it may not be the right way for you to generate your revenue. So it's super important that we identify what gives us more bang for the buck, where we could do the least amount of work, or automate it, or even delegate it, and then, of course, smile all the way to the bank.